3 out of 4 businesses fail in the first 5 years, and 90% of those failures are due to poor management. But here to stop the rot, a mad butcher Peter Leach and his chief executive Michael Morton. With his flair for marketing and promotion, Peter can sell ice to Eskimos, while Mike is the numbers man with a sharp eye for the bottom line. A dream team for business nightmares. Tonight, a couple of mates who need a crash course in business basics.
Very simply, boys, you've got to get your head out of your ass and start acting like businessmen.
A family-run boutique hotel that has everything but customers.
It is stressful, worrying about, making sure you're making enough money through to just getting on as husband and wife.
And we catch up with the Homestore owners who opened a second shop against Peter and Mike's advice.
You could shoot a bloody gun down here and you wouldn't hit anyone.
Tough talking, no excuses. Tonight on A Mad Business. Set in a beautiful woodland garden 45 minutes drive south of Dunedin, New Zealand, is the Garvan Hotel, luxury accommodation and a fine dining restaurant owned by Joe and Malcolm Lowry.
Joe and I bought this place about 2.5 years ago now. Before that, Joe had been a chef for about 20 years now, and I was in the police at that stage, pretty much had enough, so got out of that and we decided we'd look for something like this.
When we first came in here, we sort of thought our accommodation market would mainly be the international market.
We spent a lot of money in the early years advertising in from overseas and various publications, and a lot of it was just money down the drain. Because we're 45 minutes from the main centre, which would be Dunedin, hour and a half from Invercargill, we're struggling to balance the advertising cost of getting people in the front door and reconciling that with the spend that we get off them when they get here.
It's real hard to get travellers to stop. Everyone, when they come in, say, "I've been driving past for years, didn't know it was here."
With the accommodation barely paying its way and no tourists in sight, Joe and Malcolm tried attracting local people with a special Sunday lunch. But that didn't work either.
Lunch has really put the squeeze on us because you don't get a very good spend off lunch. Over the winter, it's probably just bashing our heads against the brick wall a little bit.
So, despite the best efforts of Joe and Malcolm and their staff, the dining room and the bedroom suites are empty, and the bank account's heading that way too.
At the moment, there's not a lot of profit margin in it. It just wears you down.
It is stressful, worrying about, making sure you're making enough money through to just getting on as husband and wife. Mel and I have nearly had a few punch-outs.
Just as well for Joe and Malcolm, our heroes of hospitality are here to help.
Well, Michael, if we're going to investigate the place, I reckon we should stay here the night, check out their wine list, see if they've got lion ice for the old butcher, and see if they can handle us Auckland wankers for the night. Hello, Joe and Malcolm, is it?
Yes, hello.
Peter and Michael. Have you got a couple of rooms for the night? A VIP room for me, and an old dunger for the old boy.
I'm sure we'll be able to sort something out for you.
This is the Cameron room.
Oh yeah, this will do, Michael. Chandeliers, beautiful big bed. I think we should go and look at my VIP room now. This is me, a VIP, me port. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at all the pillars, the king-size bed. The king is back! Oh, yes! This is lovely. This is me to a T. What else is in here? Oh, this is beautiful. I'll steal that tomorrow morning. Oh, look at this, the bar. Now, this is class. The old... Oh, hey! Oh, bring me my beer.
We'll never get him out of here now.
Okay,
Show
let's
me
go.
the rest of the house.
Hey, wait for me, I'm driving here. How hard is it working with your husband?
At times hard.
Yeah.
We have ups and downs.
Because I worked with my wife for a long time. Yeah, so I know that it can put strain on marriages, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a juggling act. I mean, we're husband and wife, we're mother and father, we're directors, we're, a bit of everything.
And maybe one of the things you'll need to do is mark out your territory. What's your role, what's his role, and that will eliminate some of that. And I'm talking from experience.
Partnerships that are professional and personal can be very tricky, so Peter's right to raise the issue early on. But Mike's firing a few shots himself to broaden the Garvan's business.
Oh, mate, these are great. I've got a block of land next door here that's not getting used. We need to fill a bit of blue-collar trade.
Yep.
These are just a good fun thing. We do some barbecues.
Look, I think that's a great idea. You're utilising the property. Well done. Now, what I've done is I brought along a little target. I put him up there on that tree. I think we should have a bit of a crack at it, mate.
Let's
I've
get
been
him.
wanting to do this for a long, long time.
So the Garvan Hotel has plenty to offer. The problem is getting paying customers all the way there, 45 minutes south of Dunedin. And with the financial pressure putting strain on Joe and Malcolm's personal relationship, all up it's a tall order for Peter and Mike. And that's not all they've got on their plate. 2 hours northeast of Auckland, New Zealand, is beautiful Breambay. Where two local boys, Paul and Jared, have gone into business together to get rich. They're the new owners of Breambay Takeaway and Videos.
We just decided between Paul and myself that we really wanted to work for ourselves and give it a go, and been mates for a long time, and just look for something that was run down and could, do with a bit of hard work, and we came across this place.
If you could relate it to an old car, I suppose, it'd been left out for a while and it's got a bit rusty. Needed a bit of a tidy up and a paint and get it running again, basically.
We sort of looked at all the books and decided we could make a real go of it, so here we are.
We've only been here for not even a month yet.
We've put a couple of new burgers in over the last week, and we're looking at the possibility of raw fish and things along that line. Looked at putting video machines in. Also changing the configuration of the shop so we get a lot more shop space. There's a fair bit on our to-do list.
We've got to be here all the time at this early stage.
6 days we're open, and on our day off we're here doing what we need to do to get the business up to scratch, really.
The boys weren't banking on so much work, but their master plan is go hard for 2 years, get the turnover pumping, and then sell for a healthy profit.
And it's just a matter of, I guess, with the help of the butcher and his mate, we'll be able to implement that and head on down that track.
Certainly the butcher and his mate have done the hard yards in retail business, so they're the ones to put these likely lads on the fast track to success. That's after a free feed, of course.
There you go, tear into
Take the
those.
big one, give them the small one.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect, thank you.
Magic.
You both going to work full-time in the business?
We've been here pretty much 24/7.
Yep.
Just about finding sleeping bags out the back.
Now, the business is in two enterprises. You've got your video shop as well as the takeaways?
Yep. Takeaways is doing the big part of the turnover at the moment, but we see a fair bit of potential in the video side.
Good burger. Good burger. Must be. You've eaten half it in a minute or two. No, it's good, mate. I'm hungry.
Yeah, watch your fingers, butcher.
Okay, boys, we're at the free feed. I think it's now we split up. Michael, you go with Bling Bling. Check out the videos. You, out the back. We'll see how good you are cooking burgers against the king, the butcher.
Let's go.
Coming up, a rocket for the Breambay boys.
You have a shave when you get out of bed in the morning, son. We're going to get standards in this place. We're going to lift the standard of the shop.
And Malcolm's unimpressed with Peter and Mike's suggestions for Garvan Hotel.
We've thrown a lot of money at different publications and ads in the papers, all sorts of things, and really, hit and miss.
The Garvan Hotel in South Otago is a picture-perfect retreat from the hustle and bustle of modern-day life. With beautiful grounds, quality accommodation and fine dining, this place has it all, except customers. And for owners Joe and Malcolm Lowry, it's becoming a nightmare.
What was the dream when you first bought the homestead?
Joe having the chefing background, we wanted to have some food, we wanted some accommodation because we knew there's a better margin in accommodation. And we moved into this area at a time when property values were pretty good, and so we knew we'd make some capital growth on that as well, because obviously the value of the house is part of the business too.
And now you're focusing on the accommodation come restaurant type package.
Yes, dinner, bed and breakfast is what we really want to concentrate on.
And you don't open the restaurants 7 days a week now.
No.
We recognised pretty early on that it was easier to work the function market than it is to do casual dining, and so we've really concentrated on the function market. That's catering here for weddings or small parties.
Why don't you have a big sign down on the road?
We've talked about that.
Yeah, I think there's issues with transit, obviously, for putting stuff down there. But I guess that's something we'd have to work through.
Oh, right to my friend Helen Clark, she'll sort it out for you. No trouble, Helen. They want enterprise.
All right, guys, well, we might retire to our room, have a bit of a powwow ourselves, and look forward to seeing you
I
at
might
dinner.
freshen myself up before tea, I think.
They're a nice young couple. I think they're very enthusiastic in what they're doing. And I think they just need to, instead of trying to go everywhere with the old shotgun approach, they need to just come back and focus on a couple of things and try to drive those. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree, Peter. They've shown that they know what the customer wants now, what their business requires, and they're prepared to do it.
Hold on, Michael, hold on.
Hello? Oh, I just can't take this anymore. Can't be any with you.
Mate, what would you be looking for if you were to bring some of your top clients away to a retreat? It's got a tennis court, it's got a bar, licensed bar, and it's private, mate, it's secluded, you know? You won't be disappointed, I can guarantee you.
In the past, Joe and Malcolm have spent a lot of money on advertising with poor results. But Peter and Mike believe good marketing is the key to turning this business round and know what the couple should be promoting.
Probably one of the most valuable things that Mike's given us was just saying, hey, listen, focus on getting your accommodation up and running, and the other aspects of your business will roll off the reputation of your accommodation.
But being 45 minutes away from the nearest city, Dunedin, it's always going to be a challenge attracting custom, so it's going to take quite a song and dance on the marketing front to get people in the door. At Breambay Takeaway and Videos, new owners Paul and Jared may have bitten off a bit more than they can chew. The shop's taking up so much time, they're pretty much sleeping on the premises. However, it could be a great buy. There's a big canal development going in down the road and a new supermarket going up next door.
What do you hope this is going to do for your business?
Well, it's certainly going to draw more people to the area.
Yeah, where's the canal development?
About 5 kilometres that way towards the port.
They all eat fish and chips?
They all eat fish and chips.
Oh, could be a winner.
Could be, but there's a lot of work to do first. The boys have to smarten up the shop, smarten up their business practices, and cope with the butcher in the kitchen.
Now I'm going to show you how to make a hamburger, brother. And I want to ask you a few questions about the business, all right? The chicken in there, why don't you have the chicken on the counter where you've got the pies? But you sell 5 pies a week. You'd sell 10 times the chicken if you have it on the counter, mate.
That's a good idea, Butch, but since we've been here, we've been so busy getting the place cleaned up.
You can always make excuses. I've been in business 40 years. Action is better than words.
It's not making a lot of noise over there, Butch.
No, I just...
Good hamburger makes plenty of sizzle, doesn't it? You know what I'd do? I'd turn the thing on.
I don't want to rush things, all right?
In the video department, Mike Morton is casting his eagle eye over the stock and layout.
There's nothing to say that they're new releases. He needs to work on that. Handwritten stickers, it detracts a little bit from them. It makes the video look cheap. It's going to look dirty after a while. Maybe you should just have a new sign saying new releases all $8. Do you have any theft? Do you lose many of them?
That was an issue, but the way we've got it going out now in blank cases so we can track what's out, not so much.
Fact, you're both big boys, you've got a bit of bling bling, ride Harleys, might stop a bit of that, you think?
Yeah, don't worry about the dog, beware of the owner.
You have a shave when you get out of bed in the morning, son. We're going to get standards in this place. We're going to lift the standard of the shop. You've only started. We're going to take it to the next level, I'm telling you.
Bring it on, Butcher!
Yeah, brother. That's the way, brother. Bit of a sparkle in your eye.
When you came and bought the business, what were your expectations?
We're going to build it into a good saleable asset, and within 2 to 3 years, it'll be back on the market.
How did you establish what the right buy price was for this business with it being run down?
We compared it to another takeaway, just solely takeaway bar out on the main road, which was about another $40,000 above this price. So with the videos and the premises, we think we did pretty well on the deal.
We need to have a look at how we can grow this business, how we can take some cost out of it, and make you boys richer so you can buy a bigger flasher Harley.
Sounds good to me.
Let's go and see what that other lunatic Peter's up to out the back. You got fire insurance?
We have.
So sit back and watch your legend at work, brother. When you're good, you're good. They're up all a deluxe hamburger. You'll love that, mate. I got work to do. See you later.
Righto, Butcher.
Mate. Hold on, Jared. Hold on. Good afternoon, sir.
G'day. What can I do for you today, sir?
Scrap an egg burger, please.
An egg burger, sir? Righty-ho. One egg burger, please.
Oh.
Anything else I can get you? Bit of chicken, tomato sauce, drinks. This is how you upsell, Jared, you see. I tell you what, I'll go and cook the egg burger for you, sir. One egg burger coming up. Well, Michael, a couple of likely lads, those two boys. One's got more bling than I've got. But, mate, the thing is partnerships. You have to be very careful about going into partnership. It's like getting married. You've got to be careful who you get into bed with.
They said they bought it to be able to sell it in a year's time. You know, did they buy it? Right, I'm not sure. They're pinning all their hopes on the growth of the business, on the canal development down the road. The way that those guys are, you know, they're covered in tattoos, they've got all the bling, they wear singlets, they will alienate people that are going to spend $1 million on a canal front home.
If you're paying $1 million, you're not going to be down eating fish and chips every night.
Yeah, they are bringing some new products in, which is great, but they need to bring products in that are going to enhance their profitability.
They've made the right decision. They've called the A-team in to have a look at it for them.
Coming up, the A-team turns up the heat.
Answer the question. What percentage are you making? 30%.
That's all. I think you just made that up. You can't just make up numbers like that.
And the numbers put Joe from the Garvan on the spot.
Just wouldn't mind having a copy of your financial presentation, Joe.
That's great. My granddaughter does better than that. She's 15.
At Breambay Takeaway and Videos, Paul and Jared are ripping into some DIY renovations. Their master plan is to get the business pumping, then sell for a big profit. But Mike and Peter think the boys may need a reality check. They're meeting with Paul Buer of Affiliated Business Consultants to find out how a takeaway shop is valued.
It's up in Breambay, the business.
Yes. It does currently operate as a video shop come takeaway bar. About 20% of the business is done in videos, the rest is on the takeaway side of the business. There is no real competition up there for either. For either. Yep. When you go to buy or sell a business like this, yes, what are the key factors that a purchaser is looking for, and how do you value what the business is going to be worth?
You know, most buyers are looking to buy something reasonably close to where they're domiciled, so we'd be looking for somebody who either lives up there or is prepared to move up there, which obviously cuts down the potential buyer pool quite considerably. Given that most of your variable costs are fairly consistent across most takeaway businesses, if you know the weekly turnover, you've got a pretty good range as to exactly how much profit it's making. Typical takeaway would sell for a multiple of around about 15 to 20 times turnover, weekly turnover.
Michael, I think we've got enough now to go back and give these boys a bit of a rap over the knuckles and wake them up a little bit.
You thought you brought the business pretty reasonable, didn't you? Yeah. Because we've done our research. We went to some people that specialise in selling businesses.
Basically, they told us that they valued on times weekly turnover. Now, based off what your business was doing, you paid maybe a little bit, not much, but a little bit too much. So you didn't buy it cheaply.
You never got a bargain, boys.
The gist of the thing is that you should have done some more homework before you bought the business about what it was valued at. Because just because somebody wants, you know, X amount for it, doesn't mean that you should pay that amount for it.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't the bargain the boys thought, but the new layout should do the job and get those profits up.
We've changed the configuration of the shop, so that wasted space is now the counter, so we've brought that Bay Marie forward so you can see the chicken.
That was my idea. Yes! Yes!
Have you sold any more chicken?
Yes, sales have gone up.
Sales have gone up. Sales have increased to 70 kilos a bird a week.
So the hep sales gone up?
Yep.
Good. Yeah.
Yep. Lots. I think 40 kilos a week, it's now 70.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Those are the renovations that we've done to the shop.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. I love that chicken Bay Marie there up front.
Move on from your Bay Marie, mate.
Well, that's all good stuff.
Get over it.
Well, you'll see in the background there's a big box probably behind the counter. Well, it's a new Bay Marie that's about 3 times the size of that one.
Did you buy that?
Yep.
Did you buy it new?
Yeah.
Did you look in the market for second-hand ones?
Yep, sure did. We had a good look around and we could get that one there at half price. Brand new.
Why?
Why is it half price? Well,
Stolen.
I presume it was on the top. I mean, no, it's just a clearance sale.
No more questions here.
Okay, Moving right along.
What sort of margin are you making on your chicken?
Well, actually, we've been, with our suppliers, we've been...
Answer the question. What percentage are you making?
30%.
Bullshit. I think you just made that up. You can't just make up numbers like that. You've given me your buy price for the chicken, you've given me your sell price for the chicken, you're making 70% guys on it. If you were making 30% on the chicken, you'd be losing money. That percentage is higher than what your overall food percentage is. You should be really pushing that product.
Very simply, boys, you've got to get your head out of your arse and start acting like businessmen.
What else are you doing in the business?
We're actually looking at separating the two businesses, and we've just in the process of looking at another lease for the video side of the shop and relocating the videos.
Why would you want to do that?
The big part of our business that's making the money for us at the moment is the food side, and that's where we see we've got to concentrate.
So you're going to take the video part out of it, you're going to have a separate lease for something that's making no money. If you go and put it into another building, you've got another lease, you're going to have more employees, you've got power, you've got insurance, you've got all those things.
Yep.
Currently, that's all free because you're running down your takeaway business.
And mate, the advantage you've got over your other takeaway bars around the area, they don't have a video store.
Gut feeling is, leave the video where it is, improve on it, but I wouldn't be adding overhead to a business that's not making any money now.
Just keep your heads out of your ass and you'll be sweet.
In the first episode of A Mad Business, we met the owners of the Homestore in Newmarket, Auckland, a big shop with big problems.
We chose a location in Auckland that's not street frontage.
Our overheads are a lot more expensive than perhaps we'd like.
The stock is very expensive. We have all our money at the moment invested in this business.
We haven't started a family yet because of that. We also haven't bought a house. So we've really put a lot on the line for this business.
Things were going from bad to worse, but Peter and Mike quickly identified ways to turn the business around.
What you've got here, you've got people walking past, you've got to try to get them and divert them up the alleyway. And I just don't know if that's going to do it.
If the doors are taken out and we re-glass, it will cut down on your staff.
You've got a big Texas, but look at your bloody signs. Look at that. That's a joke. But do you want to sell bloody stuff or not?
There's definitely some location issues. It's not visible from the street. We need to find a way of dragging people into the shop.
Nikki accepted some of the advice, but dug her heels in when it came to quality.
I don't want to compete with the lower market.
No, we didn't say lower, we said middle of the road.
Well, lower to middle of the road, because we do need to be different from our competitors.
The Homestore clearly needed a major marketing push, so Nikki signed up for a 12-month radio campaign without telling her business advisors.
So you don't...
Yes, I've signed up.
Why didn't you ring and talk to us?
Well...
And then another bombshell, plans to open another shop.
So open another store when you're still battling to get this going. Isn't that a bit dumb?
So I think you should be nailing this before you move on.
I wouldn't be going into a second venture until I got this one 101% right.
Fast forward 12 months, what's the situation now?
There's a few things that have changed. I'm now 8.5 months pregnant.
Not ideal timing, obviously. Timing's never been my strong suit.
Things are developing on the business front too. Despite Peter and Mike's warning, Nikki and Dan are going ahead with opening a second home store in the massive Sylvia Park development.
At the end of the day, it's always a risk, but we kind of feel that we want to make a go of it.
It was a limited time offer. We didn't have a lot of time to think about it, and we probably couldn't have come back at a later time and taken up the opportunity that we had.
But taking up the opportunity has forced Dan to quit his high-paid corporate job to work full-time on Homestore business.
Dan's really taken on looking after the whole setup of Sylvia Park for me.
I hadn't really appreciated the sheer scale of the work that needed to happen before we could open the store. Just so many things that need to be done. So I've found myself stretched probably beyond what I'm capable of. It needs to be financially viable, and it's a bit of an unknown, to be honest. We've never gone in a mall before. It's really up in the air as to how successful it's going to be financially. If it doesn't go quite so well, that's going to place strain on us personally and the store.
Joe and Malcolm, owners of the Garvan Hotel in South Otago, are also feeling the strain. They've tried just about everything to drum up business. Peter and Mike reckon they need to promote the quality accommodation for conferences and romantic weekends away and get the word out as wide as possible.
We need to broaden the market, try and get people from further afield to come down. You know, there's a lot more businesses in Christchurch than there is in Dunedin, and then get those people down. So it's about having a package, having it priced accordingly, and then also going and selling that. And then we're going to put some material around that's going to enable us to sell it.
But Malcolm's wary of marketing hype. He's been burnt before.
We've thrown a lot of money at different publications and ads in the papers, all sorts of things, and really hit and miss. We're only a small business. We've only got, a certain amount of spend, but we've got to be very smart about the way that we advertise.
Everything we're suggesting to you is measurable. If we run a radio campaign, we'll be doing some sort of special offer for a time frame so that we can measure it. Has it worked? Has it been effective for us?
Peter and Mike plan to use the Mad Butcher's advertising clout to get the Garvan a good radio deal.
And when you spend the money we spend on marketing, people sit up and take notice.
Yeah.
And Mike has another plan up his sleeve.
We need to develop some brochures, so we've got something that's hard that goes out. We can help you with that stuff.
Our art department.
Yeah.
Once again, we'll get our art department.
Your own personal art department.
No charge to you.
I believe that it's a lot easier for somebody to receive something in the mail and throw it away. We need to have a follow-up there, and that might be a personal follow-up, and it might be a phone call, it might be somebody fronting up on the day.
Mike asked the couple to price up some package deals to attract customers from further afield.
We also looked at putting together some packages, bringing people down from Christchurch, like the airfares included. We got limousine trip down.
The only dilemma I had in putting the package together, and it come back being quite pricey, and I sort of thought that might scare quite a few people off.
Look, the thing about this is we take the stress away from them. They just have to ring you, you do the lot.
It's the service aspect of it that you're selling.
So it's saying, hey, listen, here's a complete package, all you've got to do is write the cheque.
Exactly.
And we've done
you're
the
going
whole
to do everything for them. You're going to give them the certificate, you're going to do it.
We'll take the pressure and the strain out of it. We'll do the lot for you.
I just wouldn't mind having a copy of your financial presentation, Joe.
It's great. My granddaughter does better than that. She's 15.
I've been sick in bed for 2 days.
Another weakness. I've been sick with the flu for 2 weeks, and have I spent 1 day in bed? No, I haven't.
You're lucky.
I'm just going to take my tablet now, actually.
It's not Viagra, is it?
The rumours are out.
Ring my wife and ask her if I needed it last night.
Quick, cut to the commercial break.
You can't say that.
Coming up, the Homestore opens the new shop.
We've thrown Dan in the deep end a bit, and it's just a big learning curve for him at the moment.
And a nightmare for Breambay takeaways.
We're looking at a couple of days without a freezer. It may mean that we can't trade, which is a bit of a bugger.
The new Homestore is up and running at Auckland's massive Sylvia Park shopping mall in time for the grand opening and a blaze of publicity.
Customers swamped the shops when the doors opened at 9 o'clock this morning. It was madder than the Boxing Day sales.
Traffic continues to move slowly around Sylvia Park and all northbound lanes.
2 home stores have Nikki and Dan flat out, and then there's the baby.
It's a cow. Hello, Nikki speaking.
Nikki's still very active in the business. There's no way becoming a mum has slowed her down.
Yeah, hi Karen. I was just ringing before about whether you'd received that purchase order that I sent through. It's always a juggling act when you choose to do what I'm doing, which is look after a new baby and run the business. We've thrown Dan in the deep end a bit. Dan now really manages the day-to-day running of the business, so he's really had to run with it, and I've tried to help him as he's gone, but he's doing really well, and it's just a big learning curve for him at the moment.
So how's he managing really? Peter and Mike put the hard word on.
Can I ask you the $1 million question? How are you coping having to go home and getting Nikki to give you the rubber stamp for everything? Is that a problem, or you just, you've come to terms with that?
Oh, I've had 11 years of that, so I'm well used to it.
Well, that's a good comeback, Michael, isn't it? Quite happy the way Newmarket's tracking?
Yeah, she's going gangbusters over there. Yeah.
And how's the home store in Sylvia Park going, mate?
Going very well, better than what I'd budgeted for, so paying the bills. We had a bonanza the first couple of weeks, all that publicity, and ended up closing the off-ramps on the motorway, so that was good. Got us off to a good start. Since then it's settled down a bit, but it's tracking about 10-15% better than what I budgeted for, so pretty good.
Well, that's good stuff, Michael.
Yes, an encouraging start, but what happens when the opening hype dies down? How will the bold decision to open the second home store look then? Up at Breambay Takeaway and Videos, Paul and Jared are still renovating.
Jared, The old mate, the mad butcher, mate. How you going? How's that lino down yet? But it's not. I thought you'd have the shop finished weeks ago, man. God, you better get some urgency in you, mate, or I might have to come out and sort you out, mate.
The new lino and carpet is going down, and it's going to look sweet. But the boys do have a problem out the back.
We had a freezer breakdown yesterday and we did something to try and bypass a fan relay. Hasn't worked, so we just got to do the repair that's needed, and so we're looking at a couple of days without a freezer. So we've got to find somewhere to put all this stock. Worst case scenario, it may mean that we can't trade for a couple of days, which is a bit of a bugger, since we're going to have all our nice new lino and carpet down.
Jared has to find someone to fix the freezer, and fast.
Jared here, Breambay Takeaways. You're the man to talk to about the walk-in freezer? Okay, so anybody else? Okay, so cheers, man. See ya.
No luck. It's going to be days before the freezer's up and running. Luckily, the new supermarket is now open next door and has generously allowed Jared to store his frozen food. But Breambay Takeaway and Videos is closed until the freezer's fixed, meaning the business will lose customers and turnover. At Sausage Heaven, the Mad Butcher's art department is hard at work on the brochure for the Garvan Hotel.
Well, I'm happy with the clarity of the pictures. It's good. I think the Garvan name should be on the front. This area here needs to be a bit bold. Oh, the 450. The price is too large. Need to make that a bit smaller. Generally, it's looking pretty good, Michael. I think you've done a magnificent job of producing this brochure. Another job well done.
Meanwhile, Peter's been keeping tabs on the fortunes of Sylvia Park, where the new Homestore is located.
Oh, Michael, we tried to tell them. The warehouse extras among retailers failing to meet projected sale targets at Auckland's Sylvia Park complex.
I've been keeping bits of the press cuttings as of late.
And there's been plenty.
Look at that one, mate. Empty escalators there, slow trading days.
And, mate, I heard that Briscoe's wouldn't go in because the rent was too dear. And, mate, he's one of the most successful retailers out there.
Well, I got the Food Weekly here and they went and did a survey in there, and the Food Town had one customer with staff standing beside idle cash registers and nothing to do.
Look, the truth of the matter is, Michael, they're not going to tell us the truth, because they don't want to be bagging the mall that they're in because they've got leases, they've got to stay there.
And if they start saying it's no good, everybody believes in they're good, customers stop going there. They've got to pump it up, they've got to talk it up, saying everything's all good.
Michael, I think we need to go and have a look now.
Okay, well, I'm a little bit busy now, but...
we'll do it now, Michael, if you don't mind. Now.
Oh, okay, well, that's a good call then, Pete. Well, I think we should go now.
Yep.
You happy with this park?
I don't know.
No.
With more than 2,000 car parks, hundreds of shops and the largest cinema screen in the country, Sylvia Park is built to attract huge numbers of eager customers.
Well, mate, she's chock-a-block here today, isn't it? Absolutely chock-a-block, mate. You can't move.
You don't need a pedestrian crossing, mate. There's no way you're going to get run over walking up here.
It's early days and that the mall's only half open at the moment, so we've got to trade through that period.
We're bang on budget, which is good, so covering costs and a little bit more, and I think that's a pretty good effort for the first year of a retail business.
We've never been in a mall situation before. We're not quite sure how to measure it, and it's quite hard to make a judgment.
Well, maybe, but it's an easy call for Peter and Mike.
Well, Michael, I don't care what they say. The figures won't stack up. There's no one here. You could shoot a bloody gun down here and you wouldn't hit anyone.
If this meets their expectations, well, they got bloody low expectations.
But Nikki and Dan have a different take. They're even thinking bigger.
Since we opened Sylvia Park, we've been approached by people who want us to open more stores ourselves in their malls.
And it's probably something we could look at down the track when we've got a bit more time. At the moment, baby in 2 shops is taking up everything.
Nikki and Dan knew they were taking a big punt opening a second home store before the first one was performing properly. Hopefully their faith and hard work will be rewarded. But the future of Sylvia Park is out of their control, and only time will tell if their gamble pays off. Coming up, Peter expects more from the radio ads for the Garvan Hotel.
Could you not tell by the ringing of the till you would tell if he had it worked for you.
And Jared goes solo after the Breambay boys split up.
It's a bit like a marriage. When you get married, you find all these gremlins that the other person's got, and yeah, one of us got kicked out of bed.
Mad Butcher Peter Leach and his CEO Mike Morton are firm believers in the power of good marketing, and they've pulled out all the stops to promote the Garvan Hotel in South Otago.
Oh, Michael, come through, mate. Garvan Hotel, our brochures.
Oh, it's good.
Mate, I think we've excelled ourselves for these.
Going that extra mile is always worth the journey. It's a good, nice picture on the front.
I like this. Nothing says thank you quite like a stay at the Garvan Boutique Hotel.
All
That's
right.
class, mate.
Let's get them out there.
Okay, let's do it.
With 1,000 brochures hot off the press, the Garvan owners Joe and Malcolm now have the big job of posting them out to prospective customers. And following Mike's advice, Joe's using an upcoming trip to Auckland to follow the brochures up with personal meetings to push the new corporate packages.
And I was just wondering if I could make an appointment to meet with you and introduce our property and myself to you in person. That'll be great. I'll see you then.
Malcolm's also promoting the Garvan Hotel locally and proudly advertising the new rating on their service.
That's great, Michael. Garvan Hotel got a 4-star rating. That's fantastic. What do you think, Simon? That's great, isn't it? Yeah. No, he agrees with me, mate. Simon's right onto it, mate. We're just working out, brother.
There's been some big changes at Breambay Takeaway and Video since the Butcher Boys got involved. A new menu board, new layout in the shop with new counters, lino and carpet, and of course the new supersized bain-marie for the chicken. But the biggest change came out of the blue.
Before we started, there was a lot of people who said, don't go into partnership, this won't work, and we pretty much poo-hooed everybody and said, oh, you know, we've been mates for a long time, we know this will work. It didn't take long to realise that there was valid reasons people had told us that. Even though we're mates, we had a lot of different ways of doing things. For Paul, it was he had the time and wanted to put all this time and effort into the shop, which was, you know, cool, and that worked for him. For me, I'm a solo parent, and my idea was not having to be solely focused on money. It was a lifestyle choice for me to do this business. It's a bit like a marriage. When you get married, you find all these gremlins that the other person's got, and yeah, one of us got kicked out of bed, so hey, Paul had decided he no longer wanted to be in the business, so I was committed to buying him out.
But buying Paul out meant a major sacrifice.
Sold the Harley to pay for the business, and it was pretty earth-shattering really when it had to happen.
Getting out of a partnership can be much more difficult than getting into one, so Peter and Mike need to make sure Jared's avoiding all the potential snags.
How did you decide on the price for the business?
Paul came up with a price that was pretty fair. It was basically what he put in, he wanted back out.
How have you found flying solo now?
It was a bit daunting at first because I was all of a sudden doing everything.
He used to do the costings.
Yep.
So how are you handling that?
Probably not as well.
Your costing is one of the most important things in your business.
Yep.
Because if you haven't costed right, you'll never make bloody money. I've got one! Hey! Oh, look at this, mate! She's a whopper! I told you I'd get one. Oh, it's a bit of rubbish labelled on there. What's that doing there?
It's still got the bloody price tag on it.
All fooling aside, the Butcher Boys have still got some hard questions to ask.
Are you making money out of the video section now?
Yeah, we're making money. We're not making a lot of money out of it.
You see, you gave yourself away. You hesitated. So you're not doing extremely well.
No.
And you've got to have a look at yourself in the mirror, all right? Because I genuinely think you've got to tidy yourself up. I don't know if you should be wearing the bloody earrings in the shop. If you're a pimp, maybe, it's okay.
What sort of sales growth have you had since you bought the business?
About 10%.
Do you know how much money you're making on a weekly basis or monthly basis out of the business?
Slightly less than we anticipated, I think.
Just that you need to make sure that you're doing that as a minimum on a monthly basis, because if you wait to the end of the year, you might have been working your ass off and you've made no money.
That just does not look good. Look at this rubbish. You don't want that where customers can see it. Put it somewhere where they can't see it, and get all this stuff. Get the doll out. Get the doll out of it. Get this bloody chair out of it. Get this bucket and mop out of it. Get it all out of it. Clean it up. Then put a fridge in or put a shelf and have stuff you can sell. You're in business to make money.
And Jared will have a new Harley in next to no time. For 2 years, Joe and Malcolm have struggled to attract people into their boutique hotel, the Garvan, in South Otago. Peter and Mike suggested they focus on the accommodation market and put together luxury and corporate packages. 1,000 brochures, designed by Mike, have been sent out nationwide, and it's time to see if all the marketing effort has paid off.
Ah, Joe, we've been looking for you. Look, a rose for a rose. And she's doing a bit of cooking, Michael.
Malcolm, how are you, mate?
Hello, Grumpy. How are you, mate?
Been a while since we've been here. Tell us what's happening in the business.
Well, occupancy's doubled this year compared to last January, so we're really thrilled with that.
So the weddings, how are they going? Got a few in?
Yeah, we've got a good number of weddings this year. We've already done a few. And they're going into the shoulder season this year too, so that's it's a real bonus for us.
Perfect. You got the flags out the front, they look smart?
Yeah, they do. They actually, and for the cost of them, it's just been a fantastic buy too. They've really brought a bit of business through.
And what about your sign?
Oh, great sign.
Yeah, to be fair, we haven't really done much with the signage.
But no one's complaining. The marketing's working a treat, and there's more to come. Malcolm's hit the airwaves with a radio campaign.
Hi, Malcolm from Garvan here.
Oh.
At Garvan, we're proud
Who's
to have
there?
great food, good service and fabulous setting. We're also proud to be Clutha's award-winning restaurant. Call us to book today, 0800 Garvan.
Radio Clutha, 96.9.
It's not the way the butcher would have done it.
Where's that bloody weight?
How's the tea, gentlemen?
I want to ask you about the radio campaign. How did it work?
Well, it's probably hard to measure, actually. We put a couple of ads through over Christmas and we thought we'd give it a run.
Could you not tell by the ringing of the till? You would tell if the ad had worked for you.
It's hard for us to measure whether it was ringing any more than normal. It certainly was ringing over Christmas anyway.
The ads were just a little bit generic. Didn't have an offer or deal or anything like that that was going to entice people to come there and then.
So maybe we talked about doing a Sunday roast $14.95 and just then we'll be able to measure the numbers.
Exactly.
Malcolm, clear it away, please. We're off on another excursion. Thank you.
It's no quick fix for Garvan Hotel. Joe and Malcolm will have to continue putting money into marketing until they've built a strong client base. But now they know how best to promote their idyllic country retreat, they're confident they'll be welcoming a lot more visitors. It's been a bit of a bumpy ride for Breambay takeaway and videos, but Jared's enjoying being his own boss and doing stuff his way.
Personally, I'd love to not have the videos, half the shop size, half the rent, and let the staff concentrate on the takeaway side. It's there, so I mean, I'm not going to just get rid of it.
The partnership with Paul has ended. Now the buck stops with Jared.
I'm the one who's in charge, and if there's something goes wrong, it's not Paul's fault, it's not anybody else's fault, it's my fault. Since going by myself, it's the staff level's increased. I've got more part-timers now. It's just been really good. And I know I've got staff that I can sort of ring and say, cool, I'm not coming to work today, I'm going to do this, and being able to do it, not feeling guilty or like I need to answer to somebody. I've just been enjoying the lifestyle out here now. Yeah, the weather, the beach, and my daughter and partner's company and that. The last month has been the first month that we haven't had big expenses. You know, it's nice to sort of sit back at the end of this month and see the bank balance and say, far out, cool, this is going to work.
Chalk up another one for the boys from Sausage Heaven. A job well done, to be fair. Next time on A Mad Business, a Coromandel family of macadamia nut growers.
You're an accountant. You tell me how you can pay your bills when you're not making money.
Who could be setting an unrealistic goal.
I don't have any doubt at the end of the day that we will be making more money than you are.
Beautiful. That's a good challenge.
And a couple from Kerikeri who rushed into starting a comic business.
We've invested $60,000 into the business up to now.
Without checking just how much competition was out there.
There's no question we didn't think you'd done your homework, and when we went out and done our research, we were convinced you never. I think it's going all right.
Bring some subs down on yourself.
Give us that flat off. Just answer the question, will you?
Well, not quite so angry.
Well, I was angry with that one. How are you, mate? Just ringing to let you know I've got a great...
The guys that spend $1 million for a house, I don't think they're going to come and eat fish and chips. Turn your phone off so we can finish it.